Part A. Directions. In Part A, you will hear short conversations between two people. After each conversation, you will hear a question about the conversation. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Now we will begin Part A with the first conversation. Number 1.
Why did the class move to a different room?
We couldn't get into our regular classroom. Someone lost the key to it.
What does the man mean? Number 2.
Do you have the book that you borrowed from Jim? I need to use it.
No, sorry, I don't. I already returned it to Jim.
What does the woman mean? Number 3.
Are you still writing checks?
I've written the checks for rent and electricity, but I still have a few more to take care of.
What is the man most likely doing? Number 4.
Should we leave for class now?
But it's not time for class yet.
What does the woman mean? Number 5.
Is the physiology class as difficult as I've heard?
It's not terribly difficult, but it is time-consuming.
What does the man mean? Number 6.
I've had to work way too many hours for the last 2 weeks.
Your efforts have not been unappreciated.
What does the woman mean? Number 7.
Could you help me with this?
I'll wash the lettuce if you'll make the dressing.
What are the man and woman most likely doing? Number 8.
Is Jack going with us to the restaurant tonight?
I was unable to convince him to go with us.
What does the woman mean? Number 9.
Can you tell me how I can find the biology lab from here?
Just go down those steps and enter the door after the first one.
What should the man do? Number 10.
Is Professor Nash a good lecturer?
He doesn't speak very loudly, but otherwise he's great.
What does the woman say about Professor Nash? Number 11.
Do you know where your sweater is?
I think I left it at my sister's house, but I'm not sure.
What does the woman mean? Number 12.
I need for you to work on these new accounting reports.
But I scarcely have time to finish the ones I already have.
What does the woman imply? Number 13.
How much longer do you think you're going to stay on that exercise machine?
I give up.
What does the man mean? Number 14.
Look at those waves coming in. They're as huge as I've ever seen them.
You can say that again.
What does the man mean? Number 15.
Are you ready for the political science exam today? I stayed up all night studying for it.
Didn't you know that the professor put it off until next week?
What does the woman mean? Number 16.
Have you been studying for long?
For hours, and I'm all worn out.
What does the woman mean? Number 17.
Do you think that Tom's the one who should be selected for the team?
Oh, he's head and shoulders above the rest.
What does the man say about Tom? Number 18.
Do you understand what we're supposed to do for tomorrow?
Not really. The professor barely talked about the assignment.
What does the man mean? Number 19.
Did you go to the party last night?
If I had known about it, I would have.
What does the man say about the party? Number 20.
Do you know what time it is?
I just heard the clock strike noon.
What does the woman mean? Number 21.
Let's look over the blueprints for the building one more time.
Good idea. We need to be sure that the design is absolutely correct before construction begins.
Who are these people most likely to be? Number 22.
Did our team win the game?
If the runner hadn't fallen, then our team would have won.
What does the man imply? Number 23.
That exam's going to be really difficult, and we have a lot of work to prepare for it.
Let's get going on it now.
What does the woman suggest? Number 24.
Are you happy that Kathy is one of the members of our group for the class project?
I'm not really happy about it, but I can manage to get along with her to get the project done.
What does the man say about Kathy? Number 25.
Can you believe that the department has changed the requirements for our major?
This change wasn't unexpected.
What does the man mean? Number 26.
Has management decided on a new policy for pay raises?
It's still up in the air. I think it will be discussed again at the meeting next Friday.
What does the man mean? Number 27.
I can't believe it's snowing today.
It wasn't exactly unexpected.
What does the man mean? Number 28.
How do you think you did on the literature exam that you had this morning?
I really wish I could take it over again.
What does the woman imply? Number 29.
You didn't have to wait outside. You could have just opened the door and walked right in.
So the door was not locked.
What had the man assumed? Number 30.
My guess is that you're leaving the office now and heading straight home.
You've hit the nail on the head.
What does the woman say about the man? Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Now we will begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 through 34. Listen to a conversation about a college course.
Hi, Mike. I've been trying to get in touch with you. I wanted to ask you about the Introduction to Sociology course you took last semester with Professor Patterson.
Why did you want to know about that course?
Well, Professor Patterson is teaching it again next semester, and I think I might take it.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Why not? Was it a terrible course?
All the professor did was lecture day after day after day. He's a good enough lecturer, but I prefer courses where the students can participate more. I found it quite boring.
That course doesn't sound so bad to me. In fact, I like that kind of course. You can listen to the professor's ideas and not feel any pressure to come up with something to say.
Well, then maybe this course is for you.
Number 31. Who is taking part in this conversation? Number 32. Why does the woman want to talk with Mike? Number 33. What kind of course does the man prefer? Number 34. How does the woman feel about Professor Patterson's course? Questions 35 through 38. Listen to a conversation about a tragic event.
Did you hear the story on the news this morning about the apartment fire down the street?
I heard something about it. What happened exactly?
A fire started about 3 o'clock in the morning in an apartment complex with about 20 apartments. One of the apartments was completely destroyed, and several of the others were damaged.
Do they know how the fire started?
They're not sure at this point, but they believe that it was started by someone smoking in bed. It's a shame that one careless person can cause so much trauma for others, not to mention the thousands and thousands of dollars of damage.
Even more serious than the damage to property is the harm to the apartment's occupants. I hear that several residents were rushed to the hospital, but at least none of them died.
It's all so frightening. Do you know of anything I can do to keep this from happening to me?
I guess the best thing to protect yourself is to make sure that you have a smoke alarm and a fire extinguisher in good working condition. The smoke alarm will give you an early warning that a fire has started, so you can call the fire department. If it is a small fire, maybe you can use the fire extinguisher to help put out the fire before the fire trucks arrive.
That's good advice. I think I'll go home and check my smoke alarm.
Number 35. What is the topic of this conversation? Number 36. According to the woman, how extensively were the apartments damaged? Number 37. What did the man say about some of the apartment residents? Number 38. What advice does the man give to the woman to protect herself from fires? Part C. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear several talks. After each talk, you will hear some questions. The talks and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Now we will begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 39 through 42. Listen to a talk by a tour guide in the Everglades National Park.
Today we're going to be taking a tram tour through part of the Everglades National Park. Quite probably we'll be seeing a number of crocodiles sunning themselves by the side of the water or poking their heads up through the water. Needless to say, we will not be getting off the tram at any time until we leave the area because of the danger posed by the crocodiles. By the way, you've probably heard of the expression crying crocodile tears. It is common to say that someone is crying crocodile tears when he or she is pretending to be sad or full of regret. Crocodiles always appear to have tears in their eyes, but they are not crying because of sadness or even pretended sadness. Instead, a crocodile uses its tear ducts to get rid of extra salt from its body. A crocodile does not sweat the same way that humans do and must get rid of extra salt through tears. So if you see a crying crocodile, do not think that it's feeling sad. It is basically sweating through its eyes. Look, over there on the right. There are 2 large crocodiles on the water's edge, right next to the fallen trees. You can get out your cameras and take pictures from here on the tram, but no, you cannot get off the tram to get any closer.
Number 39. Where does this talk take place? Number 40. What does the expression crying crocodile tears mean when it is used to describe humans? Number 41. Why do crocodiles have tears in their eyes? Number 42. What does the tour guide recommend? Questions 43 through 46. Listen to a talk given by a woman.
Did you know that those large plastic soda bottles that are so common today can actually get recycled into soft, warm, cuddly jackets and blankets with the feel of fleece? These bottles have generally been dumped into landfill rather than recycled, but now that's beginning to change. In this recycling process, the bottles are gathered at a plant, cleaned, and then crushed into tiny chips. The chips are melted and then shaped into long threads. These threads are spun into yarn and knit into cloth. It can then be dyed and made into fabric. The outcome of this process is a soft and warm cloth that can be made into items of clothing or blankets. It seems rather incredible that plastic soda bottles can be turned into something so soft and warm. I think that all of you should look for some of these products in stores and purchase them. They are great products, and they are great for the environment at the same time.
Number 43. What is the topic of the talk? Number 44. In the past, what commonly happened to the soda bottles? Number 45. What can be made out of the soda bottles? Number 46. What does the speaker recommend? Questions 47 through 50. Listen to a lecture given in a college course.
The development of the radio into a worldwide force occurred relatively quickly. In 1920, only 19 years after Marconi sent the first wireless signal across the Atlantic, the world's first radio station was established in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and by 1923, nationwide broadcasting was possible in the United States. Radio broadcasting was initially totally uncontrolled, and each of the dozens of existing stations broadcasted its programs whenever and on whatever wavelength it wanted. The result for listeners, as you can imagine, was often a garbled mess. This confused situation in radio broadcasting lasted until the Federal Communications Commission, which is often referred to as the FCC, was created in 1930 by the United States government. The initial purpose of the FCC was to regulate radio broadcasting. Each station was assigned a wavelength for its broadcasts to minimize interference from other radio stations.
Number 47. What is the topic of this talk? Number 48. This lecture would probably be given in which course? Number 49. How could the situation in early radio broadcasting best be described? Number 50. What do the initials FCC stand for?